Hi, I'm Katie. We're here in the Deadline studio with her. Thank you so much
Hi.
for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I really enjoyed this documentary, The
Thank
Makings of
you.
Curtis Mayfield. It feels very personal. And so I wanted to just start by asking you, how Curtis Mayfield has influenced your own artistry.
Oh man, I mean, his writing, the level of perspective that I don't know, he's so special in that he could speak from all these different perspectives and how much he cared about the music. And I really relate to the fact that he was just about the music and the message in his music and very private. I'm very much like that. But Curtis is just a really special, socially conscious, incredible arranger. He was ahead of his time, and I learned how to play a lot of his songs when I was growing up. So, yeah, he's incredible.
When you were conceptualizing this documentary, how did you kind of figure out what you wanted it to be and what you wanted it to feel like?
Man, I mean, it kind of formed as we were going, like all the conversations. I didn't expect to, I don't know, get the stories that we got from certain people. It turned into this really special personal thing. And it wasn't just about saying, oh, Curtis Mayfield was the greatest, or I love this song. Like everybody has this visceral reaction to his music. And so it became this very, I don't know, grounded, very special, personal, like, I don't know, connection to his music that went beyond like knowing his songs and knowing his lyrics. It was like everybody related to them or had a special memory associated with a song or a moment in time where it was like this really impacted my life and I experienced the things that he was talking about. So yeah, as it was going, I just realized how deep the connection was to Curtis and how much people don't realize that. And I think the purpose of the doc is to give him his flowers, because he doesn't really get that credit that he deserves. So, yeah, it was definitely a process.
Yeah. You do welcome a lot of other music legends into this documentary, into these conversations. And I'm curious how hearing their own connections to Curtis Mayfield kind of deepened your connection to him and to just music in general to be able to have all those conversations.
Yeah, it was crazy. I learned so much. We were just talking about Tom Morello and how like he was a kid. I mean, he looks great for his
Yeah.
age too. But he was a kid when, some of these songs came out. He went to the theater to see Superfly and all these other black
Mhm.
exploitation movies. And I learned so much just when he was talking about what was going on at that time and how it related to the music. And that was really special. And then hearing a Rage Against the Machine and being like, oh, now I hear the connection. So it was like these moments of contextualizing things that I knew, but I didn't really know, the depth of them. And then Dr. Dre kind of giving us this image of when he was a little boy discovering the album Superfly and how much he loved it, and Mary and how her family dynamic was reflected in Curtis's music. Like you never would know those things
Mhm.
until you're really sitting down with someone. So those were pretty special.
Something I really enjoyed about the documentary is how you talk about Curtis Mayfield talked about a lot of serious issues in his music, but always kept this air of optimism.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you could just reflect on that a bit more and how that's influenced you in your own artistry to kind of look at things with maybe a little bit of a brighter lens.
Yeah, optimism is like the perfect word for describing who Curtis is and who he was. And yeah, he was just such a person of integrity and joy and shining light on these things. And just the lyrical content, saying things like, we're a winner, or, like he wanted to bring joy to these,
Mhm.
really kind of unfortunate life experiences, and he was trying to empower people with his music. It was about educating people on what was going on and also talking about the reality of things. But I don't know. It's just he glows. He's got this thing about him that is super positive and just super real. But he's so gentle. Like his nickname is the Gentle Genius, and I don't know. I just think that creates this air of optimism.
It feels like a poignant message for just a lot of what's happening in the world right now to kind of
Definitely.
continue to keep that air of optimism.
Definitely. definitely.
This is your directorial debut, and I wonder how, directing this documentary and, digging into this other side of your creativity stretched you as a creator and as an artist and challenged you.
Yeah. Oh man. Where do I begin? No, this was like probably one of the coolest processes, and I was kind of in and out of it being in the studio working on my album. So, I mean, simple things like working on songs in different tunings, like trying Curtis's tuning and, just changing the way that I approach playing the guitar, like things like that. But also the storytelling aspect. Like I'm a storyteller in my music, but also as an actress. And so to have been able to come from this broader perspective and bring stories out of other people was so special for me. And it made me so excited. I was like, man, I could do this all the time. But yeah, actually sitting down and having conversations, and people were saying like, oh man, the things that you brought out of people were so special, and I didn't realize it when it was happening, but looking back I'm like, man, this feels like something I want to do more often, especially feeling like there's a lot of other artists who don't get the credit that they deserve, and he's actually way more known than people realize, but people don't recognize that. And I think I just feel that responsibility to give him his flowers and to fight for the underdog. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned, wanting to do this again. Do you, what are your aspirations to continue with directing? And do you have any, are you looking to do, narrative features or get into that space as well?
Absolutely. I would love to do, a narrative film. I feel like I am getting my chops up, so that's definitely a dream of mine. I mean, I've directed, some of my music videos a little bit here and there. So, yeah, I'm just getting more experience under my belt, but that's definitely something I want to do.
Any other documentary subjects that you would love to explore?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.